So that you understand their point of view and are able to raise the necessary questions when the time does come. To begin it all, I want to turn our attention to the CEO of Africa Tourism Board, Dr. Cuthbert. I will not attempt the word Ncube in the correct way. You will help us pronounce that name properly. But he's going to take us in that topical area of the global economic outlook with a view on Africa and Uganda. Dr. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. And a very good afternoon to all of us. Good afternoon.
And be able to create our own mechanisms that will talk to us and reflect our interests as Africans. Doc, you spoke about harmonization within the tourism sector. You spoke about infrastructure development, which is still a nightmare in most member states. I think we need really to accelerate. That's where we are pleading with the public sector. Let's join hands with our private sector. As our policymakers, let's drive the agenda of pushing our continent to the right. I'm always cognizant of the fact that Africa is not a standalone continent. We are part of the global community. Oh, our friends, they have discarded Africa. That's why in most cases, they are always referred to Africa as one of the afterthoughts. Afterthoughts. Even when we attend these international conferences, Africa is not given its position, shared position within the global. Therefore, I think also it's a wake-up call. If we could go back, rewind during the times of COVID-19, where the global community closed their borders and say, Africa, let's not fly to Africa. Let's stop traveling to Africa. It was a wake-up call to say, Africa, can we come back and have a discussions among us ourselves? That's why the emphasis is on our domestic, regional, and continental appreciating what we have in our disposal. I have noted that the wind is changing. If you look at the BRICS community, I'm told that we have 19 member states who are now joining the BRICS, disconnecting themselves from the European Union. That on itself is a signal that Africa is time now to reposition ourselves. It is time to take our space within the global community, and that actually prophesies the dominance of the United States dollar, that it is going to lose its shape in this beautiful continent. Yesterday, we had quite a lot of good engagements, especially within the MICE sector, where the emphasis was to collaborate, where the emphasis is to say, as Africa, what share are we getting in our MICE sector and conferences? I had a problem. When you look at most of these conglomerates conferences, we're talking of the mining Indaba. We're talking of the World Tourism Market Africa. We're talking of WTTC. Remember, these are our partners. We love them so much. But I want to challenge all stakeholders, especially within member states. Isn't it time to create these massive conferences that will engage us as stakeholders in Africa. These guys, they've realized a niche market in Africa. That's why they are bringing these massive conferences. It is time for us to rise. It is time for us to collaborate, and it's time for us to build our own empires. I am so excited and proud with East African community. We have created quite a number of engagements where they are saying, look, let us collaborate as a bloc within our community. That is really commendable. And we have been pleading with quite a number of other member states, blocs, the Western bloc, the Central bloc, to say, wow, can we also start to emulate these good practices? Yes, can we start to learn? Can you extend your hand so that we are not left behind? We need to see, yes, infrastructure developments, the convention centers. Yes, I believe Uganda, you are building a mammoth elephant. We want Africa to be engaged. The next time most probably we come back here, let's have a continental event so that even our member states ministers of tourism, let them come, let's engage. I allude with you to say, the Minister of Water, there's no tourism without water. Minister of Agriculture, there is no tourism without agriculture. They all fit within the mainstream of tourism. And we believe that tourism is one of the powerful tool catalysts that will bring development in our beautiful continent. And also tourism, we believe that it's one of the catalysts that joins us together as brothers and sisters. My dear friends, Africa's economic recovery has been disrupted. Yes, we all know during the 2021, most probably 2019 and so forth, by a range of internal and external shocks, including the adverse weather conditions, rising rates of inflation, higher borrowing costs, and softer demands in major export markets. That is why we are saying, as Africa, it is time for us to talk with one voice. It is time for us really to do away with this colonistic mentality that identify your brother, your sister as a South African, as a Rwandan, as a Ugandan. Let's break those borders that has divided us for so long. We are all brothers and sisters. Therefore, a need for us to work together, a need for us to drive together, a need for all these tourism boards to be speaking with one voice. I had an experience, especially when you visit WTM in London, that's where you see our segmentation as Africans. Rwanda would be sitting in his own corner there. Uganda in his own corner there. There is no cohesion. So we are saying those global audiences, it is an opportunity for us to group together, regroup together. Let's talk to one another. We want to see a situation where CEOs, they start engaging robots to say, how do we promote our destinations holistically? How do we push our African agenda? How do we push our regional agendas so that we achieve what we want to achieve as a bloc of nations? Yes, climate change, which is one of the most devastating that has affected our agriculture. And we know that without agriculture, there is no tourism. We all love food. I love food. I love good food. So we need to make sure that what do we do as Africans to work around the climate change? So we can only achieve when we group together. At one stage during one of the climate conferences, where we have noted, especially within the SADC, you go to Zambia, you go to Durban, you see a whole lot of vehicles imported from China and some from UK and some from the United States. Those are vehicles that have reached their lifespan. What do they do now? They dump them to Africa, and they're creating a lot of chaos. So how do we address the issue of climate change when we are not working together with the very nations who say they are advanced and civilized, dumping into Africa, until we stand together as Africans and make sure that we achieve our goals? Yes, we are also saying our domestic populace, I mean, your township tourism. Remember, these are the custodians of what God has given us. Do they benefit within the tourism space? Do they have a share? Do we look at, so these are the issues we need to be able to discuss. These are the issues we need to let them appreciate. As we said during the COVID-19, we started to appreciate our domestic. We started to appreciate even our parks. This goes across other nations. We were in Equatorial Guinea, where we noted that the bulk of their GDP was now coming from the tourism sector, from domestic, from their populace. It is because they have appreciated. Once you have an appreciation from your township, from your rural, tourism, remember, these are the brand ambassadors who will sell our destinations. So we need to be able to work together. Colleagues, the objective of this great initiative, especially the Pearl of Africa Expo, I believe it is to promote inclusive ecotourism and secure an equal opportunity, and thereby increase opportunities to economic investment that has been an enabling factor towards our continental growth and also our sustainability as a sector. Adopting two new trends to make and drive our economic competitiveness. Firstly, in the region, expanding to the continent and beyond. I have said we applaud the East Africa community. You are doing a good job. Unfortunately, you are not going to get these compliments from our international medias. You are getting it from home, because we are part of these great engagements. You are doing extremely well, and we want to encourage the other regions to be able to emulate these good standards. And I have full confidence that this is very possible with how we organize, especially the organization in Uganda and her neighbors like Rwanda, Kenya, and Tanzania. You are well organized to promote tourism across your region, respective economies in the region. This has made me always request for enhanced synergies between institutions like the East Africa Tourism Platform, who are doing an exceptional job. And our SADC tourism private sector players to have tourism propel and just fast track the implementation of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agenda 2063 of the AU. We cannot achieve these goals until we have a seamless, well-coordinated synergy across all our member states. As we are emphasizing and appreciating this driving tool, which is tourism, we need to make sure that good connectivity. We need to make sure that there is seamless exercise in terms of obtaining visa regimes. We need to do away with those. And one of the goals of the AU is to make sure that by then we would have achieved the African Union passport that will enable us to travel anywhere in our continent without hassles, without challenges, without problems. We need to support such great initiatives. Colleagues, the onus is up to us. Africa is rising. Whether they want to believe it or not, I strongly believe we are on the right track. So therefore, my plea is unity and synergy and collaboration. Let us all come together. Let us all rally behind this vehicle that will achieve so much for our economies to sustain and grow. Thank you so much.